Okay, in this video, I'm going to talk to you about how Halloween came about. I'm going to start from the very beginning, back before it was known as Hallow's Eve, back before the Druids were doing it. I'm going to start from the very roots of the whole situation. Alright, and then I'm going to work my way up. I'm going to explain to you why it's all this harvest stuff. I'm going to explain to you why the kids knock door to door, why they say trick or treat, why they wear costumes, why it's on October 31st, and it's a combination of all these old cultish things that came out on top of each other, and it came in this mishmash on October 31st, the horror we do now, okay? Alright. I'm gonna talk to you about the Samhain, the holiday Samhain, which is where we get Halloween originally from. It's an Irish Gaelic term that means summer's end. It started on October 31st. But before I get into that, alright, I need to talk to you that I'm going to need to tell you that this is about the Nephilim, okay? And I need to touch up on who the Nephilim are, just in case you don't know. If you don't know who the Nephilim are, if you read the Genesis, and in Job, it mentions them too. And really in the Book of Enoch, but anyway, so they are the product of when fallen angels mated with women, okay? And they became the giant clans. Like Goliath and all these giants in the Bible. When these things died, okay, after the flood, that's one of the reasons why God had to flood the earth, was to get rid of these things. Alright? And these things were cast into the ocean, but they died. Okay, there's a lot of theology there, but I need you to know this so I can even get onto this video. So, they are the disembodied, when these things died, they became the disembodied, evil, unclean spirits that are on earth, or in the earth, okay? They have access to us. They are the demons. This is the first temple Jew referred to these as demons. This is what demons originally came from, okay? They weren't just 100% fallen angels, alright? That's a different kind of breed. These are the product of human and fallen angel children, okay? And when these things died, these Nephilim died, they became demons or unclean spirits. It's a lot about detail about the Nephilim. And the Watchers, okay? So these Watcher spirits, these Nephilim dead evil entities, they were in the Book of Enoch, it goes on to explain that these entities were teaching the humans how to make weapons, how to put on makeup, how to use roots and stuff to make drugs, basically, to consume certain types of herbs to alter your mind, right? Read the Book of Enoch, it's scary. And these things were basically teaching them how to destroy themselves faster, okay? But they're pretending to help them, alright? So in the Book of Enoch, these things are always pretending to help you, but they're actually tricking these people to poison and hurt themselves, but they thought that they were helping them. Right? The devil always appears as a being of light, alright? So look at this mythology right here. So I'm going to talk to you about the festival Samhain, okay? It's spelled really weird, but it's pronounced Samhain, like Halloween, but without the H. But you just switch the S with the H, Samhain, Halloween, Samhain. It has the same kind of sounding name. But anyway, this is what they were doing. So this is a Gaelic Irish Celtic term. This is all happening in Ireland and stuff like that, okay? This was an oral tradition at first, okay? But this is what, according to this tradition, this is how these people settled into this, which is now known as Ireland, okay? It was but this is according to old traditional oral tradition, okay? They said that there's people who first settled into Ireland. They said that they were descendants of Noah, okay? That's what the folklore says. They said that they were descendants of Noah, okay? And what happened was they started seeing, but when these descendants got there, they met the Fomorians. There was these things there. They called them the Fomorians. They're the Nephilim, okay? But they didn't know what they were. They had put their own name on them, okay? They called them the Fomorians, and these things they became gods to them, okay? Just like now, okay? We think these things are cool or something. The Nephilim are cool now, okay? They said according to their folklore, okay, the Fomorians were an Irish term for a supernatural race, and they were usually sometimes portrayed as hostile and monstrous. They were thought to have come up from the sea or from the earth. Actually, the M-O-R in this, M-O-R, see this right here, F-O-M-O-R-S, the M-O-R is translated to mean come from the deep, or come from the ocean, or come from the sea. It's actually from the sea. From the sea. That's what that M-O-R stands for, an old Celtic term, okay? And the F-O is where we get, it means phantom. So phantoms who came out of the sea is the English translation of this Fomorians, okay? They were known as these things they are phantoms that came out of the sea. Also, these descendants claim that the first descendants that claim to be descendants of Noah. You think it's a coincidence? Okay. Anyway, so what happened was these things became their gods, and in order to celebrate their day, which was their version of the New Year's, it was on October 31st, and what the people would do on that day was they would dress up like these Fomorians. Okay, they would dress up like these Fomorians, and they would do a bunch of rituals on that night. Burn corn, okay? They would burn corn. They would also sacrifice child sacrifice, okay? And they would dress up like them, okay? And it was also, this day was known for them to becoming, the veil between their world and our world was very thin on this day, so they were able to see them better and communicate with them. So these, if you break up this word, it literally means phantoms who came out of the sea. Or a different translation is a phantom giants. That the M-O-R in a different dialect, it means giants too. So it could mean phantom giants coming out of the sea. I wonder who those are. Okay? And this kind of story is literally all over the world, of all these weird half human. They said that they descended from the heavens, or they were half human, half gods, aka the Nephilim. This story is repeated all throughout history. Go look it up. This is just one, but I'm gonna keep going with this Halloween thing because I'll talk about the Nephilim for 5 hours. This is how this started, and then I'm gonna get into what the Druids were doing, okay? So this tradition things keep dominating and building off each other until we get to what we have now. All right, so, and also according to this Celtic Irish folklore, that these Fomorians all gave them secret knowledge of, there was different Fomorian types that could grant them certain types of spiritual powers. Okay, there was a Fomorian that would help them see into the future. There was a Fomorian that would help them make weapons. There was a Fomorian that helped them make like teas and herbs and all this stuff. Okay, just like the Nephilim, it's the exact same story. It's just their own tongue. This is all about speaking in tongues, right? This is just a different translation of the Nephilim, okay? It's the same story. To this Fomorian culture on Samhain, these Fomorians were giving them secret knowledge, okay? There were different times, just like in the Book of Enoch, when the Nephilim were teaching them, these spirits were teaching them secret stuff, like how to do drugs, and how to see into the future, and how to make weapons, and put makeup on your face. The same thing with the old Fomorian tales say that these Fomorians were doing the same thing. Okay, same thing. So they were the Nephilim. Okay, you guys, they were the Nephilim. that one of the reasons why God gave you the story of the Tower of Babel was to tell you that just because the devil likes to switch words around, but it's still the same people. Okay? That's the Tower of Babel play on words game. But it's not really not that hard. These are the Nephilim. Okay? I'm gonna keep going on with the Halloween thing again. Alright. So also I wanted to bring up the murmurs. These murmurs, okay, this is a tradition that's originally done in Ireland too, okay? But it originally started from these Fomorians too. They would do this thing called a parade. This thing called a parade is walking all together in big groups, going door to door. This is what they did, murmuring. They go door to door, dressed in disguises, and making jokes and music, okay? They would go door to door. You go door to door. It was called murmuring, but they got it from this old traditional Celtic stuff from the Fomorians, okay? And they celebrate this more on Christmas, okay? But it's the same thing they do on Halloween. They go door to door, dressed in masks, and it was called murmuring, okay? This is something they did from the Fomorian times too, okay? This is all folklore. It's all, do you guys get that connection going door to door? And so this stuff kept going and going and going. And this is when the Druids happened. Later, the Druids happened, and I'm going to talk to you about how the Roman Catholic Church got involved in this too. All right, so I'm going to bring this into the Druids. The Druids were an evil, satanic, Celtic, Irish people. They would do, okay, I'm just going to give you a bit of the information, because I'm trying to make sure this video is not 2 hours long. The Druids would do child sacrifice, okay? These Fomorians, or basically Satan, demons, okay, let's start talking about the real word too. These demons told them that these Druids were worshiping the devil. Okay, they're worshiping the Fomorians still. And so they would go door to door. The Druids would go door to door, or they would go to every house. If the people who lived in that house sacrificed their kid, that like they were supposed to, like they're supposed to sacrifice their firstborn that year, by that year. On October 31st, they would go and see if they didn't sacrifice their child. And if they did sacrifice their child, if they did not sacrifice their kid, like if the family didn't do it, the Druids would paint their door red. They'd put ancient marks on the door, or some people say it was a pentagram. They'd put some markings on the door, okay, so everyone would know that they did not honor the culture, and so that family was looked down upon, okay, and they were treated really bad, and they did a bunch of rituals to make sure they were cursed. Do you know how they know if they did sacrifice their child that day? Do you know how they know they did? This was a sign that they did sacrifice their child. A pumpkin in front of the door, a burned or lit pumpkin, or some kind of lit thing with a pumpkin. They didn't have faces on them back then like this, okay? But if you did sacrifice your child to Satan on October 31st, if you did do it, you put a pumpkin outside your house in front of your door. If you didn't do it, they put a pentagram on your door, saying that you did not honor their gods, and that they were going to be basically cursing you all year. So that's how this whole jack-o'-lantern thing started happening. Okay, the Druids, if you put this in front of your house, you said, yes, I sacrificed my child this year, my firstborn. And so the Druids would leave them alone. All right, I'm going to bring up the Catholic Church now. In 601 AD, this was way later, because this October 31st has been happening for a long time. But the Catholic Church wanted to get involved. Pope Gregory, in 601 AD, he told the missionaries to leave these cults, leave them alone. Let them keep doing that. He said, don't stop it. Just let them keep doing what they want. October 31st is the Vatican's, actually it's November 1st. So the day after of Halloween is All Saints Day, or All Souls Day. And they too would light candles, go to the graves and light candles and pray for the dead saints. Okay. And also, it was a tradition that the people from purgatory were allowed to come visit you. Okay. This is evil. You are not allowed to do any of this stuff. Lighting candles for dead people is not allowed in the Bible. Okay. You're not allowed to do that stuff. You're not allowed to pray or honor the dead people and hope they come and talk to you. That's still communing with the dead. You might as well just be playing with a Ouija board. Okay, you're not supposed to pray or talk to dead people. I don't care what the Pope says. All right, it's not allowed. All right. Anyway, so that's how it got combined with All Souls Day. Okay. Okay. And the Roman Catholic Church had their own version of going down door to door. Okay, just like the Fillmorians. They would go, if they prayed for their saints that day, they would go door to door and get their treat, which was a soul cake. Okay, this is where we get devil's food cakes from, by the way. I just want to throw that in there. You know, devil food cake, it's always like cakes and stuff like that at the grocery store. This is where devil food cakes come from. Okay, but they're back on Halloween. They were called soul cakes, and they'd have a cross on them. The Catholic Church, it was a tradition for you to give the kids these cakes or treats with crosses on them. But they're actually hexes, okay? This is the same thing as the Eucharist, by the way. If you ever go to a Catholic Mass, they hold up a cake. Oh, it's for Jesus. It's a cross for Jesus. No, it's an X because it's hexed. Okay? Okay? The hex marks has an X. Anyway, so the kids would go door to door. Did you pray for your saint today? Yes. Okay. Here's your soul cake. All right, so I'm going to get into theology here. What's the devil doing with Halloween? What's the devil doing? Obviously, he's just getting you to dress up like demons. Like the Fillmorians are just the Nephilim. The Nephilim are just demons. The devil always likes to steal from God or mock Jesus or imitate God and Jesus. Okay? Or flip it around. Hallowed is God's word. Hallowed means holy. All right? But the devil has turned it around to mean Halloween. All right? And also, I wanted to bring up some other things. This whole covering your door with red marks was the devil mocking Passover, right? Did you guys get that? Oh, did you kill your sons today or didn't you? We'll put the blood of the lamb on the door. But he was mocking it. He's saying, did you kill your sons today? Then we won't put the blood on your door. Do you see how the devil's turned that around? Instead of saving your kids, you're killing them. You're sacrificing them. This is mocking Passover. Okay, that's what the devil did with this Druid tradition. This is also where we get the Christmas wreaths or wreaths in general. Did you guys get that? All right, I was going to sneak that in there. This is not a Christmas video, but it's hard to focus on one lie because it spawns into many. This is that Druid marking. If you killed your kid, that's where we get the Christmas wreath from. They put the red marking on the door. Red marks, okay. All right, I just had to throw that in there. Okay, can you see now that we are literally falling for the same trick from the demons from thousands of years ago? Okay, the Fomorians, if the folklore is correct, okay, and the very first descendants of Noah went to Ireland and they came across these Fomorians and started worshiping them. This was thousands of years ago. We're still doing the same exact thing. We are still sacrificing our kids to the demons and making them dress up as demons, promoting it, making sure it's okay. It's fun and games. It's not. The devil has literally tricked us into doing the same thing over and over again. Same thing. Okay. And no, you may not be physically sacrificing your kids to demons anymore, but this is still as bad because you are training them to be glorifying the death and the devil. Okay, you are training them, which is all from the demonic realm, glorifying death and hell and demons in any way is not how you are going to get saved and go to heaven. We are falling for the same trick over and over again. And I really wanted to point this out. So the Nephilim were, okay, so let's go over it again. Start from the beginning. The Nephilim, they were just the Fomorians, just a different translation. It was still them. So the Nephilim came from fallen angels mating with human beings. And then they made the Nephilim. They are known as unclean spirits or bastard spirits. Okay? Why? What's an unclean spirit? It's something that's combining two things together that doesn't belong together. That's what makes a spirit unclean. That's why the Nephilim were unclean evil spirits. They're a combination of human and demons. The fallen angels. They became known as demons after that. They became unclean demon spirits because they were combining two things together that are not supposed to be together ever. And they were known for being giants or mighty or having supernatural powers. Each one had specific supernatural power. They're also known for having one. Some of them were also known for having one eye, a spiritual eye, the third eye, or I'm not sure if you guys know what your third eye is, but bear with me. Okay, they're also depicted as only having one eye. That's even in the Quran. The Quran even says that. So I want you to keep that in mind. Are still the Fomorians. Do you guys get that? This is just a new version of worshiping the Fomorians. Just one example. We still do it in many, many, many other things. This is still worshiping the Nephilim. We are still worshiping the Nephilim. The Nephilim are just demons, okay? Let's look at the characteristics again. They're unclean, human / something else that makes them unclean. Half of these superheroes are half animal, like Batman, Spider-Man. That's what the Nephilim were. They were human combined with something they were not supposed to be combined with. They had supernatural powers. Some of them were giants. Hello, giants. And some of them were also known for having one eye. One eye. Okay. And don't get me started on these crystals and new age stuff, okay? Aliens are demons, so even Superman. So Superman's not part animal. No, but Superman's part alien, okay? Okay, Superman's part alien. Aliens are demons, okay? These are all unclean still. Oh, look, there's Iron Man right there. Still demonic, okay? And it's so funny because, not funny, but this is serious. Don't you ever notice that these superheroes that are half animal are also unclean animals? Like it's always a bat or a spider or a cat. In the book of Revelations, it says it's going to be like the times of Noah again. Because the Nephilim were during the times of Noah. We're still worshiping the Nephilim, the Fomorians. Look at this. This is unbelievable. Watch this. Look at this. No joke. Fomorian Marvel fan base. Data fan base. Marvel Fomorians. Let's look at the characteristics again. One eye. Giant. Oh, this one even has horns like the devil. Oh, and they've got X's on them like the hex I just talked about. You think it's a coincidence? It's not a coincidence. Okay? Please understand the Bible is real and God has so many messages for you in the Bible. So many messages. Oh, I have to bring up this too. Oh, remember they were Fomorians, means phantoms that came out of the sea. Oh, and he has a pitchfork. Why, weird. So, such a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. It's really not a coincidence, okay? And just like the Nephilim pretended to help the humans and was really just corrupting them and making them cursed, that's what these superheroes say. We're here to help you. We're here to save you. But they're really just training you to fight each other and thinking that you're cool saving everybody. It's the same trick. Oh, and we have supernatural powers we want to share with you. It's the same thing. Here's our specific supernatural powers, just like the Nephilim, just like the Fomorian said. These are just representations of the Nephilim. It's so obvious. these are the Nephilim, okay? These are just another representation of worshiping demons. What does worship mean? It means putting all your time and energy and emotions into something. When you are putting all your time and emotions into movies that are glorifying the devil, you are still worshiping the devil, okay? You're still putting all your time, money, and energy into worshiping the devil, okay? It's the same thing. The devil's just tricking you to do it. Your ignorance is not going to save you, okay? Your ignorance of this stuff isn't going to help you at all when you die. You have to be aware of what you're doing. The Bible says be sober, because the enemy is like a roaring lion. And that means doesn't just mean not be drunk. It means pay attention to your surroundings and what you're doing. And just like the Nephilim, just like these other gods, these other countries always fail for, like Hercules is a Nephilim. Hello. Hercules, I'm trying to do ones that you guys know. The Fomorians, you just learned about this, all these, even these Greek gods that because the Nephilim are still here. That's why these Nephilim never went anywhere. Okay? They're still around. Just like it's so funny because in Ireland, you know how like all this troll stuff, these big huge trolls. You ever seen Troll Hunters? I think it's on Netflix. The trolls, the big giant trolls, are just the Nephilim too. They're just the disembodied spirits of the Nephilim, the giants. Hello, okay? Troll, all that stuff. The fairies, back in the day, and all this Irish folklore. It's because they're demons, okay? Oh man. What about Bigfoot? Bigfoot is just the Bigfoot is just a disembodied spirit of the Nephilim. Okay, because they all didn't look exactly alike. They were all different, but they had some of the same characteristics as the things we are still seeing now. What about skinwalkers? How many thousands of stories of skinwalkers are there online? Those are the Nephilim. Okay, those are still the disembodied spirits of the Nephilim. Ghosts are disembodied spirits of the Nephilim. Aliens are just the disembodied spirits of the Nephilim. We're here to help you. You guys, to save you from yourselves. It's a trick. Oh, please don't believe that. It's a trick. All right, I'm going to say it one more time. Stop dressing up your kids as the Nephilim. Okay, this is serious. This is not a joke. Hell is real, and you're teaching your kids to teach their kids to do the same thing, and it's an ongoing tradition that is just brainwashing everyone to worship the devil and the demons. And it's been happening, and it's going to keep happening. But please be the one that believes in Jesus and gets out of this these constant tricks from the devil, okay? Because your ignorance isn't going to save you. You're still going to go to hell. Please take on the image of Christ and do not put on an image of the beast on Halloween and every other day of your life, like everyone else has. Do you guys get that connection? What does the devil do? What was the demon? What were the Nephilim? They were part God, part human. Fakes, right? Pretending to save you. They were imitating Jesus. Jesus is the real God, human, that is here to help you. Do you guys get that? God made a real human and himself. Okay, Jesus is the true form of the human God combination here to save you. He is the only true form. The Nephilim are the devil's stealing of that. The imitation, very poor imitation of that. Do you guys get that theology and that connection? All right. Please take on the image of Christ and not the image of the beast. All right. Think about this. Thank you.